Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today I'm trying a new setup, as you can tell, and I've got a mic on a boom arm, but I'm also doing a reaction because this might be my most important video in quite some time, and it's a reaction to Phill with a double L, because Phill with a double L has done a YouTube video, and I'm going to be reacting to it because it's quite important to me as a physical media collector. The title of the video is "Don't Collect Like This. Collecting has become obsession. Here's why." And we're going to see what Phill with double L has to say. So you're going to see the camera on here tilt between this one on my iPhone and the camera of the reaction of my MacBook. So that's going to be a perspective. But I think Phill might have a few good points here. So I want to watch this video and react to it in real time. Because I'm wondering what he's talking about in this video. I'm kind of like, is he going to be talking about physical media collecting, overbuying, going back to older formats? I want to know exactly what he's moving towards, and I want to see where he takes this. So I'm going to start playing right now.
If you're shopping for physical media every single day, that is not normal. If your collection of things starts to look like a store, that is not normal. Buying a movie every single time you shop, it's just not normal. Yet online, this sort of behaviour, it seems kind of average.
Is he? He's talking about other YouTubers.
The more that we see it online, the more that we seem to perceive it as being normal. It's keeping up with the Joneses on an entirely new level. And it's causing us to overconsume. And you know what? It doesn't always make us happy. I mean, maybe it might with that short-term dopamine hit. But overall?
Just want to pause there for a second. So he's opening the video talking about showing a couple of YouTubers going out and doing their what is known as pickup videos. So that's when you go into a shop and you say, okay, I have bought today these releases. Look at all these. And you will look at these and you'll be like, okay, how much did someone spend on these? And, you know, people who have their houses looking like kind of a store, not calling out any names, this is sort of what he's talking about. Is this normal? But I want to see what he has to say before I talk about this anymore. I want to see what he has to say because he might show me in this clip, and I want to see if Phill with double L shows me.
Doesn't always mean enough. So for this video, I'm taking a look at how the online culture and the influencers have shifted the way that we view our hobbies, our lives, and warped our perceptions of reality. Yeah, most of this stuff, it's not always the stuff that they want or use or always need. I mean, dealing with that amount of stuff and then trying to store it, it would stress me out. But these people that we see, they seem to receive stuff and buy stuff every single day, or at least multiple times a week. It's just not normal. These are your hobbies and they're dialed up to 11. Your house, it shouldn't be a store of stuff. And maybe you think it does make you happy. But the thing is, you get the item, you've bought the item, you have the item. But because of that online influence, you're constantly looking for the next thing. You can just...
I want to stop it there for a second. So he's absolutely right here. He is absolutely right. And he is hitting a nerve here. Because, look, people asked me when I sold my Star Wars 4K collection. It used to sit right here before Star Trek. And people asked me, Jamie, why did you sell that? Like, don't you want to have Star Wars on 4K? Here's the reality. I was not watching them. I simply was not watching Star Wars on 4K. I don't like the modern versions of Star Wars. I don't like the, what are they called? The sequel trilogy. I don't like the remastered, the 1997, post-1997 alterations to the original trilogy. I do kind of like the prequel trilogy to an extent. Like, I like Revenge of the Sith. But I was not watching Star Wars. And I said, when I sold them, I've got the DVDs. If I'm just going to watch Star Wars, I might watch it once every couple of years. I'll just watch the DVDs, or, you know, if the Specialized something picks up, or if Star Wars was to put out an unaltered theatrical version, maybe I'll watch those. But I saw my Star Wars collection. And you know what I found? I don't miss it. I do not miss my Star Wars collection. I don't miss it. And this is the thing. I have been selling a lot of stuff. I've been selling a lot of my stuff here, a lot of stuff that I don't really care to have in the collection anymore. One of the things I've been thinking about selling is all the way up the top there, Columbia Classics. These things up here fetch, what, a couple of grand each? Or like the first 2 or 3 might fetch a couple of hundred, or a couple of thousand for the first one there. And then, the rest are just kind of like a couple of $100. How much am I actually watching those? Probably, I don't think I've watched a movie out of them yet. I've watched Oliver out of it. Actually, I've watched Oliver and maybe a couple others. But I'm not going out buying and watching these movies. People have called me out for saying, "Oh, Jamie, you've got The Raid on 4K. How many times do you watch it? The factory seal's still on it." So I am guilty of what he's talking about right here. I am guilty of this. I am guilty, as Phill with a double L is calling me out on. I'm guilty of this, but let's continue on. I want to see what he has to say.
Never seem to buy your way into feeling like it's complete. We have somehow normalized both the volume and the level of our shopping trips and the things that we pick up. Obviously, I've been there myself. I've collected way too much. And if you've seen one of my previous videos, you'll have seen the amount that I've gathered that go unused. It's been excessive.
I like what he's saying here. He's holding himself accountable as well. I'm holding myself accountable in this, reacting to this video as well. I am very accountable for, collecting this scale of stuff. There is stuff in here that is rare that people can't get their hands on because Jamie had to have it in his collection and he hasn't watched it, I am guilty of the same thing Phill with double L is talking about. And he's also guilty of it. A lot of YouTubers are guilty of this. And we all do it. We all do this. So it's like, he's hitting a nerve here, and I do like that he's hitting a nerve. But also, let's let him finish, because I want to do a full piece about this. I want to actually understand the full scope of what he's talking about.
When I sit and think about the costs involved in accumulating all of this stuff, it suddenly becomes startlingly real that there was a hell of a lot of money that could have been used in different ways.
Yep. When I talk about a hell of a lot of money, between my 4K and Blu-ray collection back in the day, this is about 2 years ago, I calculated how much I spent on Blu-ray and 4K since about 2019, 2020. And it was something in the range of, I think it was 50, 60 grand at the time. And that's an insane number. On paper, it's an insane number. And look at all this. I've got everything now. I've got everything I could possibly want. So I really have not went into a JB Hi-Fi store or, went into a CEX or anything in recent years or in the past 6 to 12 months. I may have went in there just to look at other stuff. I have been stocking up on CDs recently because CDs is my new thing where I'm trying to put together a proper CD collection. But realistically, I'm not buying as much as I used to. I remember going into stores in 2020 or 2021, and it was a CEX, and I bought like 80 Blu-rays and 4Ks, and I spent probably $500, $600 in there in one shop, and it was the single largest transaction in the history of that shop, the single store. And, it's insane. It is insanity. But I want to keep going with Phill with double L, but yeah, when he talks about the cost, there is a large cost to having a great background that looks awesome on YouTube. There is a great cost to this, and I don't get any of this for free. I'm not sponsored by anyone who sends me free copies. I get all this, I pay it out of my own pocket. So there it is.
Now, this isn't an attack on our hobby of collecting and enjoying the things. It's more of a consideration of the excess that we're being fed for our hobbies, whether that be the physical media discs, whether it be for books, whether it be for music, whether it be for figures, whether it be for colouring books, which I do also see quite often. These videos on our feeds, they kind of distort our reality. It's completely changed the way that we view normal things. And it's made us sometimes feel slightly inadequate. It's kind of shaping the perception that this small thing, or a digital copy, or the standard DVD release, it isn't enough.
I need to pause it there. This is exactly what I talk about in some of my videos, because I am sick of this elitist bullshit that some YouTubers push. And it's not all of them. Like, there's YouTubers I watch who sometimes do it, but they don't, like, religiously push it. There are YouTubers out there who say, if you don't have the 4K, then what's the point of even collecting? And that is such a stupid freaking mentality to have. I have said from the beginning of my channel, if you have the 100 best favorite movies on DVD that mean a lot to you, and you love those movies, you're going to watch them 15 times over, then that's a proper collection. I don't care what any YouTuber tells you. If it means a lot to you and it's DVD and that's all you can afford, then fine, DVD is great. I've got VHS copies over here because I put my VHS collection back out because I'm addicted, but I put my VHS copies of WWE stuff back out. I've put them all back out on a shelf because I wanted to have them back out on a shelf, and I'm probably going to sell some of them because I've got stuff in there that I don't care about. But, you know, I like a representation of stuff. And these things, sometimes the editions are better when you get them on stuff like this. They're better editions because this is more accurate to what you would have got back in the day. I've also imported recently Spider-Man on like 4:3, so the full screen aspect ratio, and I've also imported, I think, Lord of the Rings in full screen aspect ratio, which means that it gives you a bit more extra detail at the top and bottom. Now, some things do pan and scan, but those two movies are open matte in a lot of ways. They take from the negative, and also when they take from the negative, they kind of open it up a bit more. You see a bit more information at the top and bottom. So I've been importing full screen DVDs rather than going out and buying 4Ks. Now, I do have Lord of the Rings in my collection. I do have it in 4K, but this is an addiction. Plain and simple.
Your life through a lens that says what you're doing, it isn't good enough. You need the latest 4K edition.
Oh, and also on that, yes, it's good enough if you have just DVD and you collect DVD, or if you collect VCD, or if you collect Laserdisc or Betamax or VHS. If it means something to you, it's good enough. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses on YouTube. Why do you think I'm selling a lot? You know?
Of that movie. You need it on Blu-ray. DVD, it's not good enough. And it's sometimes saying that you don't have enough if you're serious about this hobby and collecting. It feels like it.
Collectors will never have enough. Collectors will never, ever have enough. And that's the thing I learned early on. This is the reason why I haven't went into JB Hi-Fi recently, because I don't get the same satisfaction picking up the new release of Jurassic Park that has Dolby Vision, or picking up whatever's out today, or whatever's out last week, or whatever's out in the past 6 months. I don't get the same satisfaction. I don't care. I've got enough. To quote Jim Carrey, I've done enough, I got enough, I am enough. You know, to quote Jim Carrey. Whether it's the same Jim Carrey that's still in the media today, who knows? But I love this collection. I'm selling the parts that I don't care about. That's why I sold Star Wars. But I look at this collection. This is insanity. And yes, we used to have a shop called Sanity in Australia. I'm not saying the shop Sanity. I'm saying insane, like insanity. But I look at this and I'm like, realistically, there's probably about 1,000 4K copies in this collection. Just the 4K alone, maybe over 1,000. I have probably 3,000 or 4,000 Blu-rays in boxes at this point. But in terms of the 4K collection, I could probably get this down to 100 and be happy. Or maybe 200 because I want to keep all the MCU. I love the MCU and love my DC and stuff like that. So, you know, there's stuff in this collection, and even then, I could sell my MCU. Like, I'm not that attached to it. And what does that mean? Who knows? But a lot of this was collected in a habit where you feel like you're getting into YouTube. You're getting to be a collector that people look to, that people watch, that people want to see more from. And then you start watching, YouTubers out there like, Phill Double L says he showed Serial at Midnight a couple of times. I watched Serial at Midnight's videos, and I do like Serial at Midnight. I think he's a great bloke. Jeff Films at Home as well. I watch Jeff Films at Home. In terms of gaming, I watch Metal Jesus Rocks, There's a lot of YouTubers I watch. People say, oh, how could you take movie reviews from Campier? I watch John Campier to understand if a movie's any good or not. This is what I'm talking about when I say, like, do I need to have stuff in the collection? Stuff in here, I haven't even watched Doom, which is over here. Them two with Timothy Chalamet, I've never watched them. And by the way, while we're on Timothy Chalamet, I think it's hypocritical of Hollywood to bully Timothy Chalamet and say he made some very silly comments. Like what hypocrisy from Hollywood? Like yeah, okay, he might have said something that could be considered bullying against ballet and opera. So what does Hollywood do on the Oscars? Let's bully him on the Oscars because that's really going to make the situation better. But enough of that rabbit hole. I just wanted to talk about Timothy Chalamet because I'm talking about Dune. I have not watched Dune. I have not watched it. I haven't even watched the original, which might be surprising to some of you. But I've got the 4Ks right there. I got the Fast and Furious still sealed down here. I've watched the Fast and Furious back in the day up to Fast 5, but I don't care about it. It's not one of my favorite movies. I could sell the whole Fast and Furious franchise from my collection and not break a sweat. And if I wanted Fast and Furious, I'll just go out and buy the first 5 DVDs because they're the ones I actually care about. All the first 2 is the best. Then maybe collect number 5 as well. But this also brings to the completionist. If you collect one, you've got to collect the whole set. And a lot of us feel like we have to do that. A lot of collectors feel like they have to do that. But I want to see what Phill with double L has to say because I keep interrupting him. And, it is a reaction, but I'm going to put links to his video at the end. I'm not going to put end screens to my videos. I'm going to put an end screen to him because I want everyone watching this video. It's important, this video. It's very important.
Suit of the excess. It's far more important than anything else. But it's also so far removed from reality. We're losing focus of what we love in favour of the excessive consumption. I've done it myself. I've got the thing that I really wanted, but I've just been so focused on the next.
Yep. Columbia Classics right there. I did the same thing. I went out and bought Columbia Classics. I have not really loved them as much as I could. Another collector might love them more than I do. So why do I have them? I bought Caligula on 4K. I couldn't care less about Caligula. I've never watched it. I don't know what it's about, but I've got it in my collection. That's stopping another collector from having edition 1048 of 3000. That's stopping another collector from having that edition. I have done the same thing, and it's why I'm starting to sell a lot of my collection. It's why I'm starting to downsize. It's why I'm putting stuff into boxes because the Blu-rays I'm okay with. I like the Blu-rays and I like the catalog of Blu-ray. But when it comes to 4K, this is the version that is the new hotness. Why do I need the new hotness for a movie I don't care about? If I want it, I'll have it on Blu-ray and watch it once in a blue moon like I usually do. But you don't want to hear that because I'm a YouTube collector and we've all got to be in unity. But I like that Phill with double L is calling this out because it's important and we need to listen to him. We need to not ridicule him and say, oh, well, if you don't want to collect them, just go away. And people who say that are dicks and I just block people in the comments all the time, but let's hear.
That this one item that I was really looking forward to, it suddenly moves to the back of my mind and I forget about it.
Of course. What he's referencing here is that once you have it, you have the dopamine hit. You've got it then. You have the shiny new object. What's the next new object you're going to collect? You need the constant drip of dopamine.
It doesn't get used because it's all become about the chase for the next thing. The next must-own title, must-own release. All of the consumption is driven so heavily across social media, across the video platforms of your favourite creators. All of the platforms, they're just full of people convincing you to buy new things. And they're all moving so fast on that hamster wheel of the consumption cycle that they are also convincing you to keep churning, to spend as fast as possible on absolutely anything and everything, even when it comes down to something as simple as a cinema visit. These consumer-friendly videos that we see, they're convincing us that we need to add and collect the popcorn bucket, or even those drink speakers. Why do you need the bucket?
This is something I haven't started collecting, but I might have something else that I started collecting a while back. I don't know if I've got any in frame here, but I've got a couple up to the corner there. So I collected, up in the corner there, I used to collect statues from Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Z and stuff. And I had a huge collection of those and also pop vinyls. But this is about popcorn buckets. But collecting is collecting overall. It's still a habit. You collect because there's something new to collect. But I don't know about popcorn buckets, so I'm interested to hear what he has to say.
Every cinema visit, for every big movie that's released. Why do we need to collect these things? I mean, how much popcorn do you actually eat? These things somehow across all of the video platforms have been deemed highly collectible. They seem to always sell out. Get up here, my knees are aching. And when they sell out, the scalpers, they see this. They jump on the bandwagon and help these things sell out. They somehow increase their hype points. And then, onto the marketplace selling, they'll charge you a premium for that must-own food container.
This is the same as if you were to buy a Blu-ray or, as soon as something sells out, like I talked about Caligula, I showed it a second ago, there was 3,000 copies of that version released, or the limited edition or whatever, or, Dawn of the Dead over here, that if you want to get that, you're going to have to pay a huge premium. Columbia Classics is in the same ballpark. That Bruce Lee box set up here, the Arrow Video one, that is the rare yellow sort of front, because everyone has the red one. The yellow one is a lot harder to come by. But if you wanted to get those, they're a lot harder to get now because, collectors all bought them up, and then, the scalpers are the only ones selling at the moment. So, this is a problem.
The one that really is just going to sit on your shelf, unused. And that's until it starts to take up too much space and then maybe get moved into storage. We get the dopamine from receiving it, but
taking up too much space. Here it is. I had too many Blu-rays, so what happened? I got rid of the plastic covers, and now I just have them in storage for when I need to watch them. And, this is very easily accessible to me, but if I wanted to watch it, I just pull it out like that and then say, okay, zone 414. Don't know what it's about. It's got Guy Pearce in it, but there it is. I can access it very easily, but this is the reason why I put things into storage. People didn't understand it, but sometimes there is only a finite amount of space that every person has, and I ran out of space.
We don't need or use it. I mean, do you still keep all of your popcorn buckets? Do they take up too much space? Have they gone into storage? Have you had to resell them? Let me know in the comments. This popcorn bucket craze sort of confusing me a little bit. These behaviours, they're just not really normal. And really, it becomes somehow a little ridiculous. How many plastic or tin popcorn buckets do we really need to then remain unused and just gather dust? It's crazy. But these influencers and the video creators, they're kind of selling you that it is normal. You need these things. If you're a true fan, well, it doesn't mean that. They're nice things to see, don't get me wrong, but for many, it's far from an average visit to the...
So, he's calling something out here very much like you wouldn't pick up on it unless you're actually in the space. But he's talking about influencers, and he's talking about how we've just kind of pushed a narrative of collecting is okay and having too much is okay. I agree with him. I'm sorry to all the other collectors who have a problem with this video, this one with Phill with a double L, but I agree with him. Because, I consider myself a smaller influencer in the space, but there's a reason why I do negative videos every now and again saying, you don't need 4K or 4K sucks or something. I just say something to, it stirs up people, but also I want to bring recognition to the fact that you don't need everything. You can have DVD. You can be okay with VHS. If it works for you, there is no reason to collect the new one because everyone tells you on the internet you must. And it gets knocked a lot. There's a lot of people who jump in those videos and say, well, if you don't want to collect it, then why are you here and you do... And I just usually block those people, but I don't know. I'm brutal with my blocks.
It's also far from a normal home setup to have all of those things on display. It's not normal. Creators, they're completely normalizing the weekly or sometimes twice weekly shopping trips. These guys, generally, they're self-confessed collectors, but they're normalizing the constant shopping, the visits to the store, the ordering online, all in the pursuit of some kind of ultimate collection.
The best collection I've ever seen on YouTube is a guy who has his entire basement done out. He has like the thing that hold the roof up. He has like so many different rows of it, and I don't know if who it is exactly. I don't know the channel name, but he has the guy I'm thinking of has a huge collection. And then you also have Joel from Last Gamer when he was still on YouTube. He has a massive collection. You have Angry Video Game though, who has kind of like a video store in his basement. We don't have basements in Australia, but yeah, there's a lot of YouTubers. This YouTuber I'm not aware of, but does anyone know the YouTuber I've got paused at the moment? I'll leave it for a second before I hit play. But yeah, let me know.
Of absolutely everything. And really, you do not need 20 movies a week. You do not need to visit the shops every single week. You do not need the daily hunts on eBay or Vinted. You do not need new things every single day, or for every little reason.
I agree. You don't need everything. You do not need everything. I agree with him. I'm very much agreeing with Phill with Double L in this video. And people are going to hate it, but I'm agreeing with him.
It's excessive. It's just too much. I mean, we all probably have this stuff in our collections that we can already use. Why do we constantly get convinced by these guys that we need more, when we still have loads of things that are sat ready and waiting to be used? Sometimes at all. The influencers, with showing you all of this stuff, they're kind of convincing you in a way that you need it all of those collections, all of the latest formats. Really, it's distorting the way we think about collecting. The overconsumption, it's being normalized by these creators. The more money they spend, the more things that they have, the more extreme, the more compelling their videos and their collections seem to be to us. The problem is, it's altering the way that we perceive what normal should look like. And there's a lot of us out there, particularly a younger audience, that don't really understand what normal should look like because of these creators that they see every day through the TikToks, through the YouTube videos. Then when your life doesn't look like that, you're kind of disappointed. And while the content can be fun to watch, the thing that we don't always see is the influencers. They can get a lot of this stuff for free, or they earn money from you watching. They keep up the shopping trips and also gathering more and more purely because we like to watch. And generally, we go back week after week to see what extra they've added, what new things they've got, and in turn, what new things we can get to be more like the creators that we follow. And with that, there's also kind of a dark side to all this. For some creators, they need to keep up with each other to try and stay relevant. And doing this, it doesn't come without issues. And it's generally the hidden thing with a lot of creators. And it's the thing that in making these videos, it can sometimes cost them. Having the new stuff or the latest stuff to always be shown to you guys, it can, at times, have a terrible financial impact. Now, generally, it's not talked about, but a couple of creators have actually opened up. They've kind of come clean and spoke about the levels of debt that the collecting to excess has caused.
I just want to stop for a minute because he's talking about debt here. And I've never went into debt. This is all from my savings. I have obviously invested a lot in this. But also, he kind of hit a nerve a few moments ago when he talked about keeping up with the Joneses, competing against each other. And people wonder why I don't do pickup videos on my channel. Not often. I've occasionally done one or two here and there, but I don't do them often. I still buy, but I don't talk about what I bought because it's not normal. I don't think it's normal. I don't like talking about what I bought. Buying is more for me. Like, I bought the other day a Confessions by Usher CD at JB Hi-Fi. I went into JB Hi-Fi. I did not pick up a single new release that I don't have in my collection for 4K or Blu-ray or anything. Because I didn't care. I was there to get that CD or just have a look, and then I found the CD and I was like, you know what? I haven't listened to Usher since I was in high school. I remember when the album came out in 2004, I think it was. Like, that album was pumping when I was in high school. That album was like back in the day. Given what people say about Usher these days, I don't know if I can mention him, but yeah. Keeping up with each other. a lot of this, I used to watch YouTube when I was putting this together, and I was like, oh, I must have to collect like this. And then I collected like this, and now I've kind of got too much more than I know what to do with. I'll never get through all these movies. There's too much here to watch. And I might get through it one day, but who knows?
And it's the thing that isn't spoken about enough. This excess, this overconsumption, keeping up with the influence from all of the videos we consume across YouTube and TikTok. It all has an impact. It has costs, and sometimes we just don't see it. The behaviours we see still shows that the overconsumption is the new normal. I hope that we can all start to remember that the most important stuff, it's not this stuff. Most of this, it just ends up shoved away on shelves or in storage, and really it's hardly ever used or even enjoyed. Well, not enough anyway. Instead, we should really focus our time and our finances on the things that are truly important to us, more than just owning things for the sake of owning them. I hope we can start to refocus on the people that we love, or even other hobbies, beyond the one thing that really we've been over-focused on. I think sometimes if we reconsider these things, generally, we'd be so much happier. More so than accumulating a lot of this stuff that sits on our shelves or sits in boxes and really just doesn't matter. Not enough anyway. Thank you for watching.
Okay. Quite a good video. I'm going to give it a like. So just give me a second. I'm going to give this a like. And I'm also going to read some of the comments because it's, if it's not jumping to the next video. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. Let's see. If you want some of these collectors to impress, yeah, let's just make this full screen. Yeah, there's a lot of truthful statements there. Jeremy, I know you watch my videos, so I'm going to give you a like on here. I'm going to give you a like on Phill with double L's videos. I'm going to give you a couple of likes. So meows a lot. I think you've been on my videos as well. But I haven't seen you comment a lot these days. See, this is what I mean. A lot of the people who watch my channel watch Phill with double L as well, or watch, you know, Films at Home, watch Jeff's channel, or watch Serial at Midnight, or watch over here, this new collector over here, Reginald Kliger, although he has like 80, 90,000 followers on another channel from what I've seen. Yeah. A lot of people agree here. A lot of comments. Jeremy, I'm just going to keep giving you likes every time I see you because I just like you, Jeremy. You're awesome. Yeah, a lot of comments. Look at this. It just keeps going. It's just endless comments. He's hit a nerve. I've told you. Phill with double L's hit a nerve. But I think there is a lot of reasons why I don't do pickup videos. There's a lot of reasons why I've been selling. It's not normal, and I'm sick of normalizing it. It's why I do videos why like physical media suck, and why I've stopped collecting, and the dark side of physical media collecting. These are videos that typically wouldn't be done because A, I don't have sponsorships from like distributors, so it's not like I'm affecting my distribution deals or whatever. I don't have any. So I can actually say, yeah, I probably wouldn't run out and collect every new release because there's no one giving me money. There's no one saying, hey, don't say that because we want people to go out and buy that new release. Here, we'll send you a free copy. I don't do that. And I might do a brand deal at some point. I'm not trying to knock my future brand deals, but, you know, I'm going to be real with you. This isn't a healthy way. Collecting all this is not healthy. It really isn't. Look at it all. Look at it. It's not healthy. It's not. Geraldo even knows it's not healthy. Look, Geraldo's just sitting there looking at us judgmentally. See? It falls off the shelf because Geraldo just knows. But yeah. I agree with Phill with double L. I will link his video in the end screen. I will also put his thing in the description. Phill with double L. If you don't like me reacting to this video, I really haven't asked your permission, but if you don't like this video, just tell me and I'll take it down. Not a worry. Just jump out to me on Instagram or whatever and I'll take it down. But also, this is important. This is an important video that he's hit a nerve on. And I'm sure it's probably been done before these sort of videos. But Phill with a double L doing it, like, you know, this is significant. How does Phill with double L only have 4,500 subscribers? I thought he had more than me. I thought Phill with double L had a lot more subscribers than me. So anyone who's a fan of me, go and subscribe to Phill with double L as well. Because, yeah, he should have a lot more subscribers. Like, the production value he puts into his videos is second to none. Like, that is bar none. Like, this is top of the range, you know? This is good stuff he talks about. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and do a reaction because this one hit a nerve. And I thought, I didn't know where he was going to take it, but I'm going to put a comment on that video, actually. I'm going to put a comment. We'll put a comment of, and this is your reason. I'm going to type a comment, but this is your reason to go and look at the video. And I'm doing a bit of ASMR or whatever. You can just hear that nice keyboard. I'll put the mic right over here so you can hear me typing. Listen to this beautiful sound. And as that falls, okay, it can come back up. It just like randomly fell. I'll put the microphone that way, or that's going to come out of place there. I really should get a proper mic. I really should get a proper mic. I really should do it. And the comment is posted. So yeah, it's up and running, and yeah, you can go and see what I said on his video. I'm not going to repeat it out here because I want you to go and actually react to his videos and give him likes. And if you're not subscribed to him, subscribe to him. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I've done this for 38 minutes because his video was only 12 minutes and I've stretched it out for 38 minutes. Oh well. Bah. Catch you in the next one. Peace. Go and go and watch Phill with double L. I'll put it in the end screen. You can go watch it and subscribe and help him out and like his video and everything. Everything you gotta do. Okay? You hear me? I told you, Roldo. I told you.